Yo everyone, welcome. So the original plan for this video was for you guys to get it like Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, since I was going to be out and about, out of studio visiting my mom. But you know, a bit of transportation issues, so I'll be visiting her a bit later than expected. So I thought, why not just use the opportunity to record the reaction review for the Dragon Ball Daima episode. So here we are. Although I'm still not sure when this video is gonna go up, maybe Sunday, worst case Monday, but let's see. Anyway, hope you guys are having an awesome weekend. Let's see what Dragon Ball Daima episode 2 has to offer. Episode 1 was definitely a treat, a nice return to form. I mean, between it and Sparking Zero, like, it just feels like Dragon Ball is just it's like the gift that keeps on giving, and it's just, we're ready for we're just ready for it once again, you know. So it just feels to be good. It feels good to be a Dragon Ball fan at this point again, I suppose. But anyway, let's get into it. It seems like we're back to regular anime episode length. Bonus for regulars. That's new rules. I feel that's kind of like a contrived thing to kind of keep the whole Toriyama humor. All the same time, kind of giving the villain kind of like that Emperor Pilaf kind of failure kind of vibe all the same, you know? Alright. Let's see the opening. Daima Wonderland. Daima Wonderland. Not gonna lie, like the first time I heard the song, like in the trailers, I didn't really vibe with it, but hearing like the full TV size, quote unquote TV size version here, like, I really like it, not like. Okay, that's interesting. They can still communicate. Ah boy. Guessing they're gonna keep that gimmick of not being able to control their powers properly since they've been turned into kids or shrunk. Yo. Younger brother we've never heard about. Of course it's covered in moss. It's ridiculous, bro. Kind of gives that vibe of, like, you know, the spaceship that the nameless Namek would have come to Earth in, right? Yeah. And you know, like that, I think it might have been filler, but you know, or was it not? But you know, like after the fight with Vegeta and Nappa, you had like Mr. Popo bring Bulma to like the ship, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Kind of gives me that vibe. It's interesting that nobody asked this universe. What do you mean by that? Neglecting is an understatement.
あいつは天才だからな。ほとんどスクラップじゃない。しかも最近あちこちぶつけたみたいね。
悟空やベジータが海洋深海で魔人ブーと戦った時だ。
Wait, fam. We gotta see those new arts. Ooh. Super Saiyan 3 Goku looking good.
悟空やベジータが海洋深海で魔人ブーと戦った時だ。どうしたら俺たちは戻れるんだ。
I like that they have Goku and the gang basically training to get used to their smaller bodies. So I guess like the whole gimmick of not being able to use their powers properly won't be like a recurring gimmick for the entire series. You know, like in GT where we had Goku not being able to use instant transmission in his smaller body.
急にチビになっちまったから距離感がつかめねえ。このままじゃこの大きさになれるまでやべえな。あ、そうだ。ちょっと出かけてくる。すぐに帰ってくるから。
ち、落ち着かないやつだ。なんだ。
晩ご飯のテイクアウトを頼んでおいたから瞬間移動で行ってもらってきて。
Man, them turn Kibito into Sasuke, bro. Jeez, Roshi's really feeling himself. Nah, lie.
おお、悟空か。
何してんだ？
せっかく若返ったんだから、やりたいことがいっぱいあるんじゃよ。
Man, really, I used the power pole as a clothesline. That's crazy to me, dog. No, bro. No, don't do it, dog. He's gonna mess up the food, isn't he? Ooh. Bomb.
よく考えてみたら、キビトさんに宇宙船をカプセルコーポレーションまで運んでもらった方が簡単だったわね。
私を配送業者か何かだと思
Man,
っている
turn into Sasuke, dog. It's actually
大
ridiculous.
魔界のこと覚えてっか？
少なくともナメック人が住んでいたエリアはいいところだったらしい。
じゃあなんで抜け出したのよ？
ナメック人は支配されることを好まない。
Don't we know it?
なんだ？
あ、でも色が違うか。
仲間かもしれない。失礼。ってキングゴマを倒してくれ。
え、ゴマ？なんだよそのキングなんとかってのは。
ダーブラ大魔王が死んで新しく王になった悪い魔人だ。
それでわかりました。デンデさんを誘拐した小さくて偉そうなやつというのはゴマーだったんですね。
どんなやつだ？
油断できない魔人ですよ。力もあるがずる賢い男ですと知ったのですか？
第三魔界の王から聞いた。魔法のモニターで魔人ブードの戦いを見たそうだ。俺はその王から命を受けてやってきた。
あなたは第三魔界の王に仕えている
Ooh,
のです
so they're like three kings,
い
I
や
suppose.
俺は連れてくるようにと秘密の依頼を受けただけだ。
And some Yu Yu Hakusho
な
shit.
るほど。
Three kings.
わかりました。では私も一緒に行きましょう。私の弟も絡んでいるようですからね。それに大魔界のこともある程度知っていますから。
Ah boy, here we go, here we go. And I possess some knowledge about the demon realm. Watch how this man is going to go to the demon realms. Oh, impossible! I didn't know about this. I might be selling Supreme Kai short, but can you blame me? Like the man went from like here to like here, going from the world tournament in the Boo Saga to actually going on to Bobby the ship. I was like surprised at everything, dog. It's crazy.
ちょっと待って。
すみません。あなたたちはブルマさんが修理している宇宙船が治ったら後で来てください。
じゃあみんな後でな。
Alright, off to the demon world. Oh, realm. Alright, so I don't know if it's just me, man. Like, I know, again, it's episode 2, but there's just something about Daima. Like, I mean, all the positives from, like, the lengthy time it's been in production, all the time they got to actually put the show together, the OST, the art, the animation, just the lighting. There's something about the show that just makes it feel very immersive, and it really hit me in that scene at the end there, are the last few scenes with Glorio and, you know, Goku and them just standing and talking to him. It just feels like yo, this doesn't really feel like it's like your typical Dragon Ball TV anime. And of course, since Dragon Ball Super is like one of the recent things, well, between it and, you know, Dragon Ball Heroes, it's like, it almost feels like night and day, fam, between those series and Daima. It just feels like it's drawing me in. So I don't know if it's just me, but definitely this show is definitely like the amount of time that they spent on it is really like bleeding. It's dripping through the screen, if you ask me. So honestly, I thought this was a nice, like, decent episode to say the least. Now, of course, I think at every step of the way, like, persons are going to be comparing this to like Dragon Ball GT, Super, etc, etc. And I think coming out of this episode, I'm glad is that, you know, at first I thought it was contrived. We were like, oh, they're kids now, they can't fly or use their powers properly. But I'm glad by the end, or even midway through, or 3/4 ways through, that basically they're saying like, yeah, we're not going to be focusing on that. That's not going to be like some kind of recurring thing we're going to use to really and truly like seriously nerf the characters, you know. And I made the comparison to Dragon Ball GT, where Goku couldn't use instant transmission as a kid, and, you know, he couldn't maintain Super Saiyan 3 like that, etc, etc. Granted, who knows, maybe Super Saiyan 3, that plot beat from Dragon Ball GT might come back in this, but apart from that, it seems like we won't be really focusing too much on, like, you know, all of that. Granted, we do have like more logical problems, like, okay, he's smaller now, he's been an adult longer than he was a kid, so I guess it makes sense. He's like, oh shit, can't reach, and of course that leads him to the idea, yo, let me get by the power pole, fam. So I think, you know, some logical, you know, progressions of, you know, through line of thought there when it comes on to Goku and solving their problems there, or at least kind of reinforcing what he's lost by shrinking. So essentially, I like how they approach that, and I'm glad that's not going to become like a recurring thing. I do like that they highlighted it via Bulma, like, oh hey, you remember this? But it wasn't too like, oh, it it didn't feel cheap like in Super. We're like, oh, let me do the final explosion again, and it's like, oh, you remember this? You know, it didn't feel like that. They didn't really focus on it for too long. It's just like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that they'd highlight that, but not really focus on it too long. So that was definitely good as well. Yo, the characters like Master Roshi, yo, this man's it's just funny, dog. Man's like, yo, again. So that was cool. I love seeing the characters kind of just interact. It's interesting that Krillin kind of says like, yo, we kind of more so shrunk than really became, you know, kids again. But you know, it's basically they became kids. So there is that. Now, in terms of, you know, the plot point, we're getting more lore in terms of the characters, in terms of, you know, why the Namekians left the demon realm, in terms of if all characters who have pointy ears if they essentially are all from the demon realm, and of course Supreme Kai, so there are exceptions, so that's interesting too. Kinda subtly implying that there are actually 3 kings of the demon world, and that will have somewhat different factions, potential factions to actually ally ourselves with as watchers, or you know, watch out for as watchers essentially. So it's going to be a bit nuanced in terms of the conflict in the demon realm. So this episode kind of paint the foundation of that potential conflict that we're going to go into. It's not just, yeah, we have to, you know, quote unquote defeat Goma, get Dende so we can restore Dragon Balls and, you know, wish ourselves back to normal. There's that establishment of that core, that main objective. But I think with the suspicions with Glorio, the potential of 3 different demon kings, there are 3 different worlds in the demon realm apparently, so it kind of gives indication, it's building that foundation for, yo, there's going to be nuance to the conflict as well, and I definitely like that. That's definitely cool, so that's something to look out for. And at the same time, like I was saying in episode 1, the series just has this overarching, it's just flowing with that Toriyama-esque vibe, you know, naturally, because he really worked on this series. And I think nothing highlights this more than the fact that Goma, the fact that I think it was a bit contrived in terms of, yo, the dragon say, yo, you only get 3 wishes for the regulars, like the people who are wishing for the first time, like, nah fam. It kind of felt contrived, but at the same time felt like a Toriyama is set up in terms of his, you know, his usual humor, and it kind of helps to paint Goma as that. It gave me kind of that peel off vibe where he kind of like, he got to his goal but didn't really get everything that he really wanted. So yeah, there's that. So between just the tone, the immersion of the whole series, spilling out from the production value to the Toriyama-esque humor that's painted over everything, through the potential nuance that they're setting up with the conflict, as well as the establishment of the main goal of the series. Sorry, I think we're in for a real treat here, man. Like, yo, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, it's just episode 2, but I don't know. I feel much better coming out of episode 2 for Daima compared to Super. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna, I can't help it. It's just gonna be a recurring thing in these reaction reviews, dogs. Like, let's be honest, dog. Like, how coming out of episode 2 of Super versus Daima, like, Daima is definitely up there. Definitely, I'm really loving it so far. I mean, for the hardcore Dragon Ball fans, well, not hardcore. Let's see. That's not the right phrase I want to use. For the certain niche of Dragon Ball fans that are here for the extra, like the fights. Don't worry, I think we'll get to that. I think we're just kind of taking our time to really build things out with the lore and I guess more substance than hype. Let's put it like that. So that's going to be pretty cool going into the future of this series. So yeah, definitely looking forward to what Dragon Ball Daima has to offer. Yeah, what can I say? That's pretty much it. I love it. And yo, the opening and the ending, love it, man. Like, it's kind of like, and I know persons have mentioned it already, kind of has that RPG, that JRPG feel. It's kind of like Toriyama took his years of experience helping out with Dragon Quest and just merged it with Dragon Ball, and it just had that, how should I put it, that gnawing Toriyama essence and humor, like kind of coat a paint of his human tone that you'd expect from his usual gags on top of it. And it just, that's what it feels like, honestly. And again, yeah, that combined with the production value, I can say no more. Sanjuichia, hope you guys have an awesome day, week, noon, night, or whenever you're watching or listening to this. And I'll see you in the next DBD. See you guys.